Oh, sorry guys. We are having a few technical issues. We are going to keep battling on. If you can just let Dean know in the comments whether things disappear or reappear. You can hear us, you can't hear us. At least then we know, because we're having trouble finding it out at our end. Okay, so I'm not sure where we dipped out, so I'm just going to explain that again. I have taken all of my character stamps from the set and put them onto my stamping platform. Two reasons. One, doing them each individually is a bit of a faff, but also this will make it easier when we come to die cut them later. So, oops, excuse me, I'm just going to make sure that I've got everything lined up. Okay, so I am using Spectrum Noir Finesse waterproof die, and I'm using Flagstone, which is not as dark as a black. It's a sort of a fairly dark grey, but not totally grey, black, sorry. So bear with me, I am, because I'm doing this kind of upside down. I'm not sure. You can see I'm terrible with ink. You can see from past things, I tend to get ink everywhere. And the beauty of a stamping platform is actually it doesn't matter. I'm not a great stamper, and it's only through having stamping platforms like this that I can actually feel like I can get a good impression. So we're going to go in for our first try. We'll see how much I've done. I might have overinked some. I think I might have overinked the little rabbit there, but we'll see. Just rubbing over the top. I don't want to press too hard and really squidge them. Okay. I didn't press at all on the rabbit, or maybe I haven't inked it. Again, this is the beauty. It would appear that I did not. Far from over inking the poor little rabbit. I don't think I inked him at all. Let's try the rabbit and the fox again. Everything else looking okay, maybe a little bit more on the trees. See, to me, this is the beauty of stamping platforms, because if that had been just done on a piece of paper, that would have been lost, because I would never have been able to get these things lined up again. So let's see what we do this time. Let's see what we're doing. I'm still struggling with my rabbit. Let's put a little bit more pressure on. Ah, there you go. Just needed a little bit more welly from me. And even as I lift it, I can see where the ink's not gone down, like the bottom of that tree. Still not the bottom of that tree.
Shirley would like to know what stamping platform that is.
This is the Tim Holtz, the Tonic Studios Tim Holtz one. Okay, so I'm going to slide off. Ooh, these magnets are great, but boy, are they strong. Okay, so I'm going to put that. Oh, those other over there. Right, I'll put that to one side. Leave that for the moment. So now it's a case of however you choose to colour in. Now, I like to watercolour. I quite like to use distress inks to watercolour as well. So that's what I have done for the sample. And I'm going to show you the colours that I used here. So I went for distress ink as opposed to just distress oxide, because I wanted a more watercolour look, more translucent look. And distress oxide, I love them, but they are very, very opaque. So these are the colours that I've gone for, and from these I felt I could get everything I needed. So 2 different greens, so I could have a bit of shading, 2 different browns, and the red for the mushrooms, but also I used some of the red with this for the fox. Then that's for the rabbit, and then this was for the lighter bits on the deer. So the way I do it, I'm not going to paint all of it. I have got some of them already done, but I will show you at least some of the ways in which I mix the colours. So let's do the deer and the fox. So I've got gathered twigs. Just put a little bit of ink. These are really juicy. I've had these ages. I love my distress ink minis. They're so easy there's a bit of vintage photo, and there's a bit of tea dye, and we're going to put a little bit of candied apple on there too. Okay, so from those I can paint the deer, I can paint the fox, I can paint the tree stump, the stems, the trunks of the trees, and also, look at me, I'm getting inky fingers everywhere, also the tops of the toadstools. So I like watercolouring. It might not be your thing. These are very small stamps. For me, although I like alcohol markers, I don't feel I would be able to get into the little nooks and crannies. So I have a very fine small brush, and I have a slightly larger brush. Okay, so I'm just going to make my brush wet but take some of the water off, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of the tea dye and the walnut stain, and I'm going to start with the, let's put that underneath a little bit. There we go, that's better. On the deer. Now I'm looking at that and thinking, oh, I could have perhaps stamped that a little bit clearer, but it will do for the moment. So to start with, I'm just kind of going in and putting a light base onto our deer here. Okay, and then taking a little bit more of the walnut stain, going to add in a little bit of shading, and sort of on this bit under here, or anything that's under or behind always tends to have a little bit of a shadow. Give him a bit of shape. Oh, her actually. There we go. So what other bits I need to do? Okay, so now I think I am put this brush all in my ink. Right, so I'm going to use this little brush now because I would like to make sure that I'm getting in to the little nooks and crannies. Okay, so there, around the ears. Okay, and then again back in slightly darker. That's a good thing when you've mixed two colours, you've always got somewhere to go with a darker shade. Just to leave that little bit in there a bit lighter. Let's go back in again. Now, part of the reason I have already painted these because I could sit here for ages doing this. And while it's kind of interesting, it's not always what everyone wants to see. So for the light bit, I've just used tea dye on its own. So again, it tones in. Oh, gone over the edges. That's because I'm now trying to rush a little bit. And for his ears, again, you can add a bit of shading. I've realised I've missed his little tail. A little bit on there. Okay, so that's the deer I used. Vintage photo and tea dye. For the fox, I'm going to just add into that some of the candied apple and make it a little bit redder. So again, I'm not gonna paint all of him, but there you go. You've got a much more redder fox. A fox red probably needs a little bit more brown in it, but you get the idea. So that's adding in the candied apple for the fox, and then I would use our gathered twigs for our little for the trunks of the trees. And also I'd start off by giving that little trunk, now mind that little butterfly, I've had a tendency to go over that poor little butterfly quite a few times. Go over it lightly first and then start to add in some more of the shading with the neat sort of colour, if you like, to make it darker in the places that you want around that little swell. Okay, so then the red on its own for our little toadstools. Again, this is where you need a nice little fine brush. I also, rather just to reduce the colour palette, I did all the flowers red too. So the flowers are red. And the mushroom. Okay, now the little rabbit, I used, running out of space, I used hickory smoke, woohoo, and pumice stone. We've got quite I know, ice grey maybe you call it, and then a very green grey in those two. So I've just used hickory smoke for the main part of the body. Again, put a nice little light shading on first, and then go back in afterwards to add shading with some of the darker around the sides of the face, because the front of the face is always sort of sticking out, so it tends to always have a little bit more light on it. Okay, and like I said, I'm not doing all of this because I've already got them done, just showing it. And then I used the pumice stone on the insides of the ears and his tummy. It just gives you a little bit of contrast, and his tiny little nose, little dab of candied apple. Trees, we've got rustic wilderness, and we have bundled sage, my absolute favourite green in the distress range. I love it. And I'm going to go back to my bigger brush for this one, because with these trees, you don't need to be too fussy. So here's bundled sage. I think I might have had a little bit of brown left on that brush, because that's gone a little bit. So over with bundled sage to begin with, and then start to dab in. Now again, with shadows, I did a little bit of rustic wilderness there. With the shadows, you're kind of looking sort of under these bits. Oh, I haven't got enough of that. Under these bits here. So, because they are over the top, they're causing a shadow underneath. Yeah, I could sit and fuss and faff with this forever, but I'm not going to. Hopefully that's given you an idea of how I painted the characters. Like I say, you might have a preference for alcohol markers. You might be like your pencils, your colouring pencils. You might like your watercolour pencils. Whatever you prefer, these will work fine. You just need to be able to have a fine application, because some of these are teeny tiny. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this to one side, and I'm going to get the ones that I have painted earlier. I'm going to move my inks out the way. Okay, so what we would do now is we get the dies. So most of them are quite straightforward. So you can see that that one is there. Now, these dies, oh, I've got a bit sticky on there, sticking to my hand. Right, these dies do cut with a white border. Okay, they do not cut right up to the line. So what you're aiming for, and one thing I have noticed with them, if I can find, yeah, you see here, some of them have a very thin outline. Some of them have quite a thick outline. The ones with a thin outline are quite easy to see. You can still see the, if I make sure that's in the camera, I'm going to move that out the way before I knock it over. You can see the black outline of the stamp with those ones. Okay, and I'm just going to put a bit of tape there. Now this one, I'm going to leave for the minute because I'm not sure. I think that's the, yeah, okay, this is the, so do you see what I mean? Now it's a little bit, so I'm going to just make sure the main part of the image is in view. There is enough of a white edge that it cuts that it won't be an issue. So here's our little rabbit. You can just see his face, his cute little face in there. Put tape here, and this, like this now, is, you can see why I stamped them all on one sheet in one go, because now I can just run this through the machine once and It's where I've had the dies stuck down before with tape, and obviously there's some residue of the tape on there. It's sticking to my fingers. Yeah, so you can cut them all in one go. So it's a bit like a puzzle. Like, which one fits which? Some of them are obvious. Some of the smaller ones are a little bit. Oh, okay. Right, another tree. Another tree. Okay, so what have we got? This will be, I can pick it up. That's the big toadstool. Oh, excuse me. My hair is making my nose itch. Oh, that one. I reckon that's that one. Let's see, and that's that one. I would definitely recommend you have a magnetic sheet to keep these dies on because they are tiny. These are so tiny. Now you can see I stamped the butterfly upside down. So heaven help us if we get it cut out the right way, but we'll try. That one. Ooh. That one. And ooh, that one. And that one. Right, okay. So what I am... Ooh, no, I'm not. I'm going to stick that so I don't do that again. That at the bottom. Right, so I am going to get my cutting plate. Put that on. I'm going to put my shim, my magnetic, and my clear plate. And that's going through to cut them all. Is there anything else I need to cut? No, everything cut at the same time. So I have already stamped the You're Wonderful to go on the front. Now you could cut and paint another of the little characters to stick on the front if you so desire. And these can also be used on cards, on small cards. They make lovely little cards. I think I might have some mess on my plate by the look of that. Not too worry. Right, so we're going to take these out. I'm going to put these to one side. Oh, that one did slip. That's when I moved it earlier. If it annoys you, the white edge, you can always ink it. I think they look quite nice in this context in the box. Get him out, her out. Stop the tape. There we go. That's a little deer. Let's put him back. I'm going to put the dies back on as I go so that I do not lose them. I'm collecting the tape also as I go. Rabbit. Oh, just popped out. So rabbit there. Put him back on. And another tree. I'll put that die on. Oh, the little log. Oh, I don't think I did that one too well. No, not to worry. You will take more time than me at home with this. There's the little flower. Again, put that one on. Oh, another teeny tiny little flower. Oh, there we go. I think the conclusion of the afternoon is I'm not great at lining up dies, but live, the pressure, the it's completely taped down. Let's find the edge of the tape. Oh, come off tape, come on. There we go. Teeny weeny tiny little mushroom. And then our last little mushroom. And just double check that you haven't left any dies on there before you put that in the bin. Not that I would put all of that in the bin, I would cut that off, but I am just going to put it to the back for the moment. Okay, so all the dies are back on. Put those to one side. So now we are going to put these in. Now, I am going to use red liner tape. You probably would be better off in a way using the glue, but I don't have the time to wait for it to stick. So we're going to hopefully using red liner live on Facebook. What am I doing? Okay, so once I've done this, and I'm going to decide on the arrangement. Now I'm trying to remember whether I preferred to put the characters on first or did no. I think I stuck these in first and then put the characters on, if I recall rightly. But I suppose it doesn't really make much difference, whatever you find easier. Just get these last bits of red liner tape on one bar. Ooh, press it down would help. Oh, come on. Ah, one there. Right, okay. I think with red liner, you do really need to press it down so that it has adhered. Right. Make sure we can press them down. Sorry, I've got grubby hands. I've been making all sorts this morning before we came live, so I'm going to remove one. I'm sorry, I'm going to throw them on the floor. I promise I will pick them up later, but it's just easier right now because I seem to be a magnet for, see look already, I've got 2 bits stuck to me. I'm a magnet for this stuff. It goes all staticky and then I end up carrying bits of red liner tape around the house. I'm just going to, they'll probably be attached to my shoes when I go home. Right, okay, so let's see. We're going to go with, now, the issue with red liner is it will grab really quickly, so I've got to be really careful that I don't put it in the wrong place because it's not going to want to move. Now this one needs to come near to the front. I'm sorry, the flaps come up. Near to the front. I'll probably put that too near to the front because I've got to add these in, but not to worry. So that one needs to be quite near to the front. And then we'll have this one at the back. So this one's going to go in the middle. Now, again, I'm sorry, I can't do it that way because I'm not left-handed, but my thing won't let me go that way. Right, let's try this. Try to get, if you can, I'm sorry, overhead camera. Just going to, because what I don't really want is for this to be seen too much. There we go. Okay, so that's our second layer. A little bit skew-iff because the tape is grabbed in the wrong place, but not to worry, it still will work. And then this one further back there. So I have my 3 layers on. Now it's a case of deciding the arrangement of my little things. Now you can spend some time 3D'ing them. It's up to you. But let's see, what am I going to do? Let's get acrylic glue. And, excuse me, I'm just going to wheel myself in a little bit closer so that I can have a look at what I'm doing so that you can still see at the same time as me trying to place them. So I'm going to put the smaller tree at the back. Because obviously with perspective, the smaller tree is going to be further away. So we're going to put the bigger tree here on this one. Just. Oh. I'm sorry. It looks like I'm being really useless. It's just I want to make sure you can see on the overhead camera without my head right over the top of it. Because at home I'd be like this. And obviously you can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn it that way. Let's try that. So that I can get it stuck down. There we go. So that one's at the front. So I'm then going to put the Little tree stump. I think I'm going to put it quite near the front. And because I made that little bit of an error with where he is, I'm going to sit the rabbit there on top. And that covers up all that white space. So there's my little rabbit sitting on top of my log. So, and the deer is quite large, so we'll put the deer, I think, also on this layer. Again, a little bit of acrylic glue here. Okay. And then we're going to put the fox on the next layer back, sort of between. See, look, I told you I was a magnet for red liner tape. That's what's supposed to be on the floor, but it's not. It's all over me. Okay, look. I digress. Let's go back to the little fox. We're going to stick him there. Oh, it looks like I've got a bit of an inky finger just there. Okay, not to worry. Right, so what we can do, we can put a little mushroom there to cover up that little red splodge there. We'll do that. There we go. And we'll put the little mushroom over here. Oops. And what have we got? I actually think I'm going to put the little butterfly up here. And I might use the 2 flowers on the front this time, just to change it up a bit. So there's our little butterfly. Make sure I get him up the right way this time. A little butterfly up there in the corner. And then we will put our sentiment on the front. And I've got a few little black pearls, gem things. Decorate it with whatever you want. And off they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Always tend to do them in 3s. So we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And also I'm going to put the flowers. 1 there. And 1 at the top. Oh, it needs to stay, not come with me. Right, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. And we're just going to literally put those 1, 2. Oh, and you would do them a lot straighter than me at home. This is Dry's clear glue, so it's very, very forgiving. It does look like I'm splodging it a bit, but it is going to dry clear and you won't actually.
Zena has a top tip. Carole, if you dusted the roll of red liner tape before cutting it, it would stop it from sticking.
Oh, Zena, thank you. I will definitely try that because I end up covered in it. Thank you very much, Zena. I will do that in future. Brilliant. Just seems to cling. So I presume that removes the static. Brilliant. Okay, so there is our box. Slightly different to the last one. But the thing is, they do fold down. Now, I'm not sure that my red tape is held in the right places, but oh, yes, it has. Good. So it will fold down to go in an envelope. So although it's a lovely 3D gift, well, card gift, whatever you like to call it, it will fold down to go in a box. So I think that's really cute. And those stamps really are versatile because they can be used on any card. You could do cute little, tiny little sort of 4x4 cards. They would look wonderful. Okay, so that's our first make. Okay, so we're going to put that one to one side. So I now have 2. I seem to have 2 of everything. We'll put that to one side. And we're going to now have a look at 2 cards. Oh, excuse me, I've disappeared. We're going to have a look at these 2 because they both use the same die as a base. And that is this one, the Gemini Botanical frame. But I've used it in very different ways on the 2 cards. So here I've used it as a cut-in aperture, and here I've used it to cut a stencil through which we've put some paste. So we're going to have a look at that one second. We'll do this one first. So in our pack here, you get oh, come on, get them out. Oof, pull that out. You do get some stamps. I have not used the stamps on these particular cards because they didn't sort of fit with the look I was going for. But they are, you know, friends are hard to find. Friends make the world a better place. Friends forever. Friends of the family. We choose some really lovely sentiments to go with that. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to one side. So in the die set, you get the inner that just cuts out the inner. Okay, and you get this border die, which cuts out, obviously you can cut the whole thing out, and then you get the friend sentiment and then the little background for that. Okay, so let's put this one to one side for a moment, and concentrate on this one. Now the other die we're going to use for this one is this Elizabeth Crafts Clematis. Okay, we're going to use that. Oh, I got stuck, sorry. So we're going to use this to make the flower. Now, this one is actually acetate. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make that first. And this is using Pixie Sparkles onto acetate. And bear with me, I'm just going to grab my box. So we are going to use the red oxide. It's going to roll, I knew it would. And we're going to use the teal marine. Okie dokie. And we need a piece of acetate. So there's my piece of acetate. I'll just put the rest of the stuff here for the moment. You just bear with me a minute. I've just realised I've got one thing that I need to go and get. Okie dokie. Right. Have my little station here to do my messy things. So I have, it's hard to see, I have my piece of acetate in here, and the first thing I am going to do is I am literally going to cover this with glue. Okay, literally I am just going to squeeze it out. Okay, now just have to be careful because I can't see where the edge of the thing is. Now I'm then going to get my brush that I use for glue and a little bit of water, just to be able to spread this out. I want all of this piece of acetate to be covered in glue. Okay, now the glue is what's going to allow the Pixie Sparkles to bind to the acetate, because otherwise it would not stick. So don't put too much water on at this stage because you are going to spray it. So I'm just going to rinse the glue out of the brush. Excuse me. I'll grab my little white thing. Okay, so that. Now I'm going to take my Pixie Sparkles and I am going to just tap. Now both of these Pixie Sparkles are quite highly pigmented, and I felt I needed something quite pigmented so that it was covered. Okay, get a lot of pigment out of there. It's difficult to see where the edge of this is. Okay, and then I am going to get my teal marine And I'm going to put that on, kind of aiming for the areas where I haven't put all that red oxide. And you could do this with any colours of Pixie Sparkles. Now, a thing, if you know about Pixie Sparkles, it does need water to activate. Although we put a little bit of water, I'm going to stop because otherwise I will just keep going. You do need to activate them with water to get the true thing. So this is going to become quite messy in here in a moment because I'm going to spray it again. So, and you can see it's activating the pigment beautifully. Now, this does take a while to dry. In fact, I left it overnight because it just needs that, because you put the water and it's on acetate, which is waterproof. You're going to need to let the water evaporate, but it's worth the wait. This is looking good. I am liking this one. Okay, so I'm going to stop because this is one that I'm going to put aside to dry. I'm loving these little, almost like firework effects. Okay, so we're going to put this one to the side to dry. Okay, and I'm going to get out the one that I have already done, which is here. I'm just going to get a piece of white card. You can see the colours better than against my thing. So this is the what would be the bottom, and then this is the bit where I applied it. So you can still feel the texture. It's not sticky, but it did take a while to dry, but it is definitely worth the wait. Okay, so we are now going to put that to one side because we have got other things to sort out. Now, I have made for this, I've made making the card base. And I made myself this little template. So what I did, I've scored this at, let me just check, I'm pretty sure it's 7 inches. Yes, so this is going to be like a 7-inch square card. So I've made myself a piece that is 7 by 7. And what I did with a ruler and a pencil is I drew from corner to corner, as she says. I can get it to line up. Sorry about the state of my ruler as well. This is my very old Tim Holtz one. From corner to corner. Okay. Now what I'm doing this because I want to, this is going to be the front of my card, and I want to cut this die out from this at the actual front of the card, and I want it to be as central as possible. So what I did was I then took this part of the die that I'm going to cut, and I literally kind of jiggled around with it until I felt it was fairly central on those lines. It's not going to be exact, but pretty much the corners touching those lines that I have drawn, and that means it's pretty much in the center. So then I drew round it like that, and then I cut that out, which left me with that. So now I have this template which I can put over my card front, and it fits on right on top of it, and I can put a little dot there, a little dot there, a little dot there, and what is that going to be? I've gone up too far there, and a little dot here. And now I can get my die placed right where I want it. That's if I turn it the other way around, but I can get it right now. That will be nicely in the middle of that card. Okay, so I'm going to secure that with tape, and I'm going to use a few pieces of tape because what I don't want it to do is to move around now that I've got it lined up. Move the card. Move those now. Oh dear, running out of room. Okie dokie, so we need our base plate, our die, our plastic shim, our magnetic, and our top plate. So we're going to run it through. And I'm also going to emboss it. Oh. Away, get my embossing mat. Okay, I need longer arms. Right, so I am going to flip that over. Ugh, maybe I'm not going to emboss it. It's all fallen out, even though I didn't take the edge. Oh, that's why. Not to worry, we won't emboss it then. We will just go with it as it's all fallen out. So I'm going to take this off. I am just going to, brush that into the bin so I haven't got random bits in there for later. We will need to clean this a bit later because I need it for the other card. But let's just give it a quick run over and we'll do the rest when we get there. Well, I've got most of it anyway. Oh, it's all clean. There we go. Right. So let's get rid of the mess. So we now have that aperture cut in the front of the card. We didn't need that in the end, did we? Okay. A few little bits left, which seem to just want to fall out. Let's just a bit of a go over the back. There you go. And they're all coming out. Out. Done. There we go. I am just trying to keep this a little bit clean because I do sometimes get little bits caught up in the plates and then you get the indentations. So this is the front of my card. I'll fold it over and we're going to burnish that. And then just the back of the card, I cut another piece and then I will stick it there. So let's do that and cut it down and then our base card is made. Ooh, come on, glue, don't mess me around. That's like because you worked so hard on the... Oh, you were working just now. Okie dokie, bear with me a moment. Let's see if my little pokey tool... No, I should be alright. It usually comes out. There we go. Now I've got lots of glue. Like all or nothing. Right. Okay, so it's probably a bit more glue than I would like, but it's there. Better than nothing. So I line that up on there, fold that over, and then I get my curse of the red liner. Look. Definitely need to try Venus tip. So, and then I put it through and just cut the edge down. So we now have our base card complete. Okay. Right. Ooh, I'm molting. So we need now to make this border. Now I will be cutting two because if you look on the inside is where I attach the acetate. But by having this here, which sort of mirrors the front, it also covers the edge of the acetate. So we are going to... Ooh, I have cut a piece that is, let's see, what size did I cut it to? So you know exactly, 6 inches. So it's a 6 by 6 square. And then I'm going to take the outer die that comes with the botanical frame, and I am going to put that on there and tape it down. Okay, going to put that, that, and that. And we need 2 of those. One of them I have already cut. So I have one already cut and one now just going through. There we go. There. Okay, so I now have my 2 frames, one for the outside and one for the inside. So we're now going to get our piece of acetate and decide which part of the acetate we like. To be honest with you, there's some really lovely bits. I love that. I also really like that too. I think we might go, oh, decisions. We'll go with that, I think. Right, so I'm just going to flip that forward. I think it was roughly like that, wasn't it? So I am going to, with my, if I can find it, my white gel pen. Should be in here. Hiding. It is in there. There it is. Right, okay. I'm just using the white gel pen short because it kind of shows up. Also need to work out roughly where this is going to go. Let's straighten that a little bit. So I'm sort of looking here. Oh, it's my white gel pen. Oh, no, it has. My white gel pen hasn't let me down. So I'm kind of looking about there, and I'm kind of looking about there. So you see my white gel pen's gone over. So, and I need roughly there and there. Right, okay. So let's grab my trimmer again. We are going to start by cutting on that one. Just to hope we've cut it right, otherwise we are in trouble. Okay, and that one. I have a feeling I'm a mark missing. Right, let's more. Yeah, now I've done that and I don't know where else I need to go. Let's have a look. So we need to mark where we need to go with our pen again, because the way I cut it, I cut off my marks, which isn't very helpful. So we'll put mark roughly, that will come on white gel pen you were working there, and there we'll cut that and that. There we go, that bit, and come on, come on, move. And oh dear, line that up, line that up. Here we go. Right, okay, so that to this side for the moment. So we are going to put this around the way I want it. That way, I think. So no, I don't. I'm going to want it that way. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check that my is going to cover. Oh, you see, I've made a fatal error, but we're just going to press ahead anyway. I've not cut it wide enough because I really wanted that covered, but it should look like that. But we're going to press ahead anyway because I don't have another piece of acetate ready. So you get the idea. Let's stick the acetate down with the glue. A mistake on my part. That's what comes of rubbing off your lines. I'm going to go that way. So I'm not going to stick the 2 ends because I don't really want the glue showing. So we're going to stick this over the top. It won't matter on the front because it'll only show through the aperture anyway. There we go. So we're going to stick that one down. The idea being it would have covered all of the acetate if I hadn't have cut my original marks off and then kind of did a bit of a wing it situation. So we then stick, oh, that's looking nice. Then stick that one on the front. I can forgive myself as it looks nice on the front. Put the glue on this one. And there. Okay, so we then are going to use the clematis die to, I need to keep that. Let me just put that over there for a minute. We want the clematis die and we want this friends die. I'm getting myself in a right old mess here. Lots of glue. Okay, so we are going to make this clematis, and I have already, I hope, got some pieces cut, so you don't have to sit and watch me cut them all. So I cut the leaves in black. Helps if I show you the die, really, doesn't it, rather than just waffling. What's the die I just put away? Oh, wakey, wakey. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ugh. Right. Let's start again. So I'm not using the stem. So I'm using the two petal dies. I'm using the two leaf dies, and I'm using these lovely little star dies and the one for the stamen. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut out, choose some nice little bits for these. That's two of these in the acetate. Now I want three, but I have actually already cut some more, so I'm just going to cut two for now. And I also want one of these friends. What colour do I want it? Do I want it more green? We'll go there. Okay. And you would also, so I've cut, what I did is I cut the leaves in just black card, the little stars in black, and the stamen in white, which I already have. You don't need to see me cut all of that. I'm hoping I've got everything else. I think what I do need to do, I know what I do need to do. I need to cut out one of those in black, as well as these. Right, let's get that run through the machine, and then hopefully I have all the bits pre-prepared for us to try and assemble this flower. So there is my acetate. That's my friend's one. That and that. And through. Oh, not lined up properly. Through my machine. I love it chunters. A bit like me, chuntering. Dean will tell you that I chunter all the time. Right. So, there we go. And there's that. So, now, with the acetate, oh, these ones have not cut through. Okay, because it's still stuck, we can have another go. Acetate is a funny thing with dies. Let's turn it around and see if another pass through will encourage that to cut a little bit more. This one's cut, just gone through card. Hope that second pass, that sounds a little bit more crunchy. which means it's definitely cutting. It's going to pop off the end. All right, let's have a look. See if we've cut this time. Yeah, they look more like they're cut now. There we go. Need to wiggle them a bit. Ah. Nope. Having a little bit of trouble with them today. That one I think's come out. Nope. Okay. So I'm not going to faff with them. I can't. If I put them back on, and probably if I tried embossing them, they would go through. I promise you they do cut because I've already got a load prepared. I'm hoping now I've got enough prepared. Let's put that to one side. Have I got enough? 1, 2. I have got enough. They're not as pretty as those ones. It's a shame. Let's just tip everything out because I've kind of lost the plot now. Not really sure what I'm doing. Let's just empty it all out and see what we've got. Right, I'm going to put that to the side. Apologies for that. I'm not sure what I've got now. Oh, come on. So, right, I have my little friend here. I have a white friend. So we might need to try and get that one out if we can. I have 1, 2. Oh, I only have 2 white ones. Right, well, let's try cutting it out. Show you that these dies do cut, that it is just the acetate that is being a pain. I need a white one. I need 1 white one. I've got 1. I've got 2. I've got 3 acetate ones. That's okay. Let's cut a couple of white ones out. And I have my little things. Oh, yes, I think I've got everything else. You just need to try and get that friends one up. So let's run this through, and I hopefully will show you that it's not the dye, that it is actually the acetate. One thing you could try is putting the metal shim under the dye. That can quite often encourage it to cut through. It gives it something to bite into. Right. Okay, so as you can see, look, these have cut absolutely no problem. It is just the acetate. So you're going to need to just fiddle with your machine to work out the pressure. Mine at home worked on that plate combination and didn't need anything else. But like I said, this one's slightly different to mine. Right. I just need to see if I can get these friends out. See if my friends will come out. Take the dye off. Take the dye off and let's put it somewhere where I won't ever find it again. Which seems to be what I'm doing with everything at the moment. Like that one as well. Right. Let's see if I can tease this out. I think this might be all right. Little tiny pair of scissors. There's only like, with this, there's only a couple of little places where it's got caught. So we're going to snip that off rather than trying to put it through a millionth time, because I'll never line these dies up again. This isn't going to happen. And that one there. And there. Okay, right, let's see. We can cut that bit out. I think we'll get away with that. We will just about get away with that. There we go. Right, so let's look at assembling it. Now, with acetate, there is absolutely no way that you're going to be able to shape anything. So really the only thing that you can do is to shape the white ones, and then the acetate ones will then sit inside and follow the shape. So we only need, oh, it's a good job I've got 4. Ay, ay, ay. Something about this dye just doesn't like me. Right, so I've got 3 white ones. I'm going to move that one away. I am going to get my glue, which is here. I'm going to put a little dot of glue in each one. And I hope you can see that these have actually embossed the line in straight away. with just the one pass through on the white card. So then I'm going to put it, it might not be turned round the right way, but I'm going to put the petals over the top of the white petals so that the colours in the acetate show through. Okay, so then we're going to layer this up. Oh, I'm having a right old go today, aren't I? Getting in a rightness. Right, in there. I'm going to keep that one for the top. I think that one's quite pretty. One there. And one there. Yeah, oh, I like that. Haven't kept that really light one on the top. Then I am going to, with my ball tool, just a couple of these. What should we do? Three of these with a little ball tool, just literally in the middle, just to cut them up a little bit. And again, we'll layer those up. One there. Gosh, considering my glue didn't want to come out at all just now, it just doesn't want to stop coming out now. I'm just going to put 3 of those in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to put that lid on before it all goes. I'm then going to take one of the stamens and I am just going to run the ball tool along there, and I'm going to roll it up, and I am going to put, am I? Yes, I am. A little bit of glue gel in here. There we go. Okay. And once it's dry, obviously it's not dry at the moment, you can see on here, I actually spread the tops of the stamen out, but I'm not going to be able to do that at the moment because it is wet. So we are going to put this flower here. We are going to lay some leaves on too. Oh, goodness me, I need to reset my brain, I think. And about Facebook Live having a problem, I think I've got one too. Right, so that's going to go there. I'm going to put a little bit of glue gel. Whoa. Oh. One there. Oh, no. One. We'll go one there. We're going to go one there. And we're going to go one more. I'm going to go one out here. Okay, so there's our flower. And then we've got our friends, which has still got double-sided tape, not double-sided, low-cut tape on it. So we're going to stick that one there. That's the base. Okay, and then a white, just so that the acetate colours will show through. So I need, I'm doing that thing at home where I've got absolutely everything on my desk and I can't find a thing. Right, these are my other tweezers that I'm not so keen on, but they will do. Okay, so see, look, that's why I'm not so keen on them. For some reason they twist. I am not going to panic. I am not going to panic. Just make a mess. If you can find anything on my desk, then you're a better person than I am, Dean. He's got out of his seat to come and try and find something in the total devastation that is this craft area. But I'm not going to worry too much. Now, the other thing I'm also not going to worry about is this is dry as clear glue on the back of this acetate here. They've gone forever. No! No! Oh, I shall be on my hands and knees looking for them later. But for the moment, we'll admit defeat. There we go. Oh, there we go. We've got our friends. Whew! Now that one was a bit of a battle, wasn't it? Goodness me. Right, so I am going to keep chatting, but I am just going to have a little bit of a tidy up because I don't know about you, when I get in a mess like this, my brain starts to go, which is why I started having a little bit of a nightmare with that one. So let's just have a little bit of a tidy up. Now I'm going to want that for our next card, because we are going to make a stencil using it. Rather than using it as a die to cut something, we're actually going to use it to create a stencil with which we're going to put some paste through. I'll tell you, there's going to be nothing left by the time I've finished. Oh, right.
Feel free to ask Carole any questions you might have in the comments.
Please do. I might not be able to be of any help whatsoever, but I'll try. I think at the moment you're probably more help to me than I am to you. Right. And breathe. And breathe. Right, let's move that out the way. Okay. So that's one way with this stencil, and I love this acetate with the Pixie Sparkles. But we are now going to look at this card, that one, which uses the same die within a complete... Sorry. It's the cutter that's on the floor and I just keep bashing the chair into it. Okay, right, so we're going to be using some icy snow paste. This is the one that I used. I've just kept it so I've got an idea of the colour I want. We are going to be using this Coneflower die. And we are going to be using this gorgeous periwinkle. I think it's periwinkle. Is it periwinkle? Card. So that's going to make our base card in a moment. And I'm going to move the rest over to the side for a moment. Right. So our first job, let's make the base card, and then that's done and out of the way, and I can put it to one side. So sometimes, I have a lot of white blank cards in my stash, which probably a lot of you do, but I don't always want a white one. So in the same way that I made the base card for the previous card, purely because I wanted to cut into it, I'm going to make it the same way because I want it out, this lovely Foundations Ivory. So. Okay, right, that's what I'm looking for. I found that. So it's going to be a 7x7, a card again. I'm just going to check because I'm doubting everything I'm doing now. 7x7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this at 7 inches. And then I am going to fold that over, and I'm going to crease that down. And then what I do is put glue on this part. The glue is being a pain. Just now it wouldn't stop coming out, and now it's like, no. Yeah. And clear it. Yeah, there we go. Just need a gentle prod. So I am just putting some glue on there. And then I just lie this on, line it up, close it. I do it that way so that when you open the card, you've still got a lovely flat bit, and then the sort of the overlap bit is on the back where it doesn't really matter. So, look. God. It's all or nothing with this glue. All or nothing. Right. Just rub my hands. Okay, so we're going to pop that through the trimmer and just trim off that excess. So that's our base card made, and we're going to put that to one side. The next thing we need to do is to make our stencil. So I am going to get a piece of just white stamping card, and I'm just going to put this kind of here. And I'm going to chop a little bit off, but I want to leave quite a nice size border around it so that we don't end up putting paste over other things. Okay, so I'm just going to put those to the side for the moment. Right, so just check that I cleaned this out properly just a little bit. So I'm just going to put this little bit out here, but everything else came out fine. So we're just going to stick this in there. Now, if you have, I think it's called mylar. It's like a plastic. And your machine gives you enough pressure, in theory, you can actually create stencils that are usable more than once. But this way, this morning before we come live on Facebook, Dean and I spent some time recording some other things. So I recorded a video this morning of a canvas which actually uses the residue of the stencil, and once we've stenciled through, I'll show you exactly what I mean. But that will be, I think, on the website, so probably Monday, Tuesday. But because it almost seems like you're wasting a piece of card here, but actually you're not, because it gets used. It can be used in other ways. So let's check through. Looks pretty good to me. Looks like it's all cut. Let's take that off. Yep. Let's just get rid of all the bits off my plate. Oh, there we go. All of those bits off my plate. Put that there. And those there. Right. So let's remove the tape. There we go. Okay. Right, so all just coming out off very quickly. Already out. So right, and we don't need that now, so we're going to put that to one side. And I am just going to turn that over and just run the brush over the back, which usually gets rid of most of the rest of the bits. A couple of those little tiny dots that aren't coming out. Let's pop those through. So where was that? There was one there, and there is one there. And I think we've got everything out. Right, okay, let's get rid of all this rubbish. And what we're going to do now is we're going to use this as a stencil. So I have got a piece of the ivory, and it's bigger than what I want. If you look, it's way bigger than what I want. So it doesn't really matter how this goes down. But what you do need to do is to make sure that this isn't going to move. So I'm going to stick it up here and here. So I'm going to stick it on the 4 edges. Now you can see from the pressure of the machine, it's a little bit buckly. So I am just going to take some small bits. The reason I don't want huge bits is because I want this, as far as possible, to be covered with the paste, because I want to be able to use it. So there'll be little bits that won't be, but as far as I can, this is just making sure that we've got a lot of contact with the card. Have a couple of little bits down here. Okay. one down here. Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, I'm just going to check if this is still, that's still wet. So what I might do is I might actually add to it rather than creating a new, because I know that's pretty much the colour I want. So I'm going to use Icy Snow Paste, and I'm going to use the Royal & Langnickel Dark Ultramarine Acrylic Pastes. So we're going to get a spatula, and I am going to take some of this out of here, put it in here. And you do need a reasonable amount to be able to cover it, and then you need just a little bit of blue. You can always add more, she says. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. So you can see I've not a bad match to what I had before. And if I run out, then I've still got that colour in there to know, you know, am I getting it roughly the same? So this icy white paste is got a bit of grit in it, which is quite nice. It gives it a little bit of texture. And everything's falling off. So just put the lid on this for the moment. So what I want to do is, now it doesn't matter whether you get much on here. Yes, it does. What am I doing? Oh,
could you mask it off?
Yeah, that's what I should have done. Yeah, I should have left that bit in, shouldn't I? And I tell you, there's that's where I'd right. Pretend the last 5 minutes didn't really happen. Yeah, so literally what I need to do is I need to take this tape off. I am sorry, I am having a little bit of a brain melt this afternoon. I think it's the Facebook problems rubbing off on me. But yeah, luckily Dean's here and reminds me of what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, because this stays in like that. Okay, which I still do want to tape a few little bits. As you can see, there's a few little bits, and that holds it in. Then it masks it off. Oh, I feel like I need a brain reset. I don't know about Facebook needing to be reset. I think I need a brain reset. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Joys of life. Joys of just sitting here wittering to myself, really, but not to worry. Right. Right, okay, off we go. So we are going to put this paste over the top. And you're supposed to just go one way. I just keep going, put it over, and I'm happy. And although I want a reasonably crisp image, I'm not too bothered. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not that bothered if it's a little bit smudgy. Oh, I think I've made plenty of paste today. At least I've done one thing right. Kind of one of those and breathe. Okay. Right. Taking off any excess. Okay, right. So put that back in. So now I've got some for another day. And it keeps really well in these little pots. Okay, I am going to put my spatula in so that it doesn't dry out. Okay. Now, I'm going to lift this up. And there we go. I have got a little bit squidged here. But the way things are going this afternoon, I'll go with that. And to be honest with you, we're not going to use this one. I've done one because this needs to dry. So, moral of the story. Think about what you're doing before you start. And then if you go slowly, then you'll know what, you know, it'll go right. Now, before we move on, this is the bit that you need to keep. Just get rid of that. This stencil, if you keep this stencil, and then have a look next week when Dean uploads the video we did this morning of I did a canvas with some period rice papers, and I used bits of this, so this is not going to be wasted. This probably just rubbed that around my face, haven't I? No, that's good. So this, don't get rid of it. Thankfully, the one I did earlier. That looks better, doesn't it? Okay, so the other thing I did do, and looking at it now, I did put a little bit of the Pixie Sparkles, the frozen pearl over it, just to give it a little bit of a shimmer. So we have our base here. So I'm going to put that now to the side. This frame, I'm going to cut in exactly the same way that I did on the previous card. So I have cut a 6x6 square, and providing I can find it, I am. Oh. It'll be here. It'll be here. It's okay, Dean. Stay. Stay your seat. Stay your seat. It'll be here. It'll be here. I'm convincing myself more than I'm. Ah, there you go. Found it. Look, there we go. That's what I need. There we go. So I'm going to stick that on there. We'll use these same bits of tape. One there. Oh, hopefully, ladies out there and gents, you'll understand that we all have these days in crafting, and today is one of them. Today is one of them. It's all going well. I'd say it was all going so well this morning. Some of the videos needed about five restarts between us, but we got there. Right, so I am now going to cut this little frame. Okay, so we'll cut the frame. We will cut this down to stick the under the frame, and then we'll have a look at how to make these flowers that look gorgeous. And that's the Coneflower die from Elizabeth Craft. So there is our there. I don't think I need that again, so we'll put that there. We'll put this here. Right, so I have. Now, what I did do on this one, I don't know if you can just see it, I did also emboss a little line. I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to add any more elements of danger. We'll go with this, I think, and I'm going to cut it there, and I'm going to cut it there, and I'm going to cut it there, there, and there, and there. Let's hope that unlike the acetate, I don't move my marks. Right, we're going to go for it. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. Right, that's one cut. That's another. There's one. Oh, no, there's not one. One. And then. Right, okay, so we are going to stick our. Oh, let's stick that on now while we can. While I'm still functioning, before I have a complete meltdown. Oh, this glue. It's not the glue's fault, really. It's mine. It's just I'm so messy that things are gunking up and clogging up. Right. That way. There we go. There we go. So we now have our border. Yay! One bit done. Right, okay, so now we need to look at the flowers. So I'm really sorry, my hands are so gunky. The Coneflower Dies, these are what we get. We get the die, one-piece die that cuts 3 of them out. And I used, on each one, I used the 3. And then there is this massive thing for the stamen, which we create this with. And then there are a couple of leaves. So we are going to cut some flowers out of that. And oh, we've got some. Oh, we can use that actually. That will work for that, rather than wasting that big bit. Oh, will that work for that? No, not quite. Let's put that to one side for the moment. Right, so we're going to cut. What a surprise. Oh, no, it will. It will fit. It will fit. Okie dokie. There we go. Stick that down. And that down. So one pass through the machine with both the dies will create one flower as I have made it. As ever, it's my interpretation of the flower. You do not have to create the flowers as they are particularly shown. If you want to adapt, you could just layer these. It's really, really a matter of choice. So, the flowers on, the stamen and the leaves, plastic, magnet, clear plate. Oh. Right, we're all right. We're doing all right. Please, if you know, I think some of my talking has been a bit muddled because my brain's just seems to have gone into a bit of a fog. So if anything I've said isn't clear, please do ask questions, and I will try to clarify. Okay, so we have that one's already popped out, so that's the stamen. We have 2 leaves. There we go. 1, 2. Put that to the side, and then we have. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3 of the flowers. So I'm going to get my flower forming mat out, and I have my ball tool here. So with these, have I got a small ball tool? No, that's the smallest. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the flowers, I'm going to turn them face down. And then I'm just going to draw the ball tool along each petal. And that curls them inwards. And then in a moment, we're going to turn them over, and then we're going to push down in the centre to make them fold in that way. So that's the 3 petals. So we turn them over, and then we roll the ball tool in there. So the petals themselves go that way, but the flower goes inwards. Fairly straightforward. And then we just layer them. Okay, so glue, my nemesis. Will it or won't it? Let's take them off of there, because if it doesn't, it glugs. It'll be all over my mat. Right. Oh, please pray to the glue gods for me, because this glue is not liking me today at all. There we go. Yes, and look, and then it goes. Bleh. And again. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, so I'm going to put into this sea of glue. I'm going to put those. Okay, I'm just going to leave those for the moment. And then I'm going to take my very, 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 very long stamen and glue. I'm going to run the ball tool all the way down that edge, and that starts to curl it. And I want the smaller bit on the outside, so I am going to roll it that way. A little bit tighter probably would have been good. Yeah, but you get the idea. I can squish it. And I've already put a little bit of glue there, so I'm just going to stick that in. Now, that's one that will need to dry. We're going to just put some shaping on the leaf, possibly. Oh, yes, here we go. So I have a very, very, very fine point fine point ball tool. Somebody give me back my brain. Goodness. And I'm just literally going to run it down the centre. And then I'm just going to, and I'm doing this on the back so that when we turn over, we have a leaf which is covered in glue from my fingers. We are going to make this card. We are going to make this card, and it will be fabulous. There we go. Right. Okay, now I'm going to go into my little magic pot. There it is. Phew. Okay, so here we go. I have already made 2 flowers, and this one we might just have to go with it as it is and faff with it later. So this gets glued onto our card. You can see my cutting was awful, but it's hidden. It's hidden behind. Now am I going to go that way? I'm going to go that way. That way? Yes, we'll go that way. There we go. See, look, this glue. I've got little bubbles of glue. Let's just say this isn't my best, but it's fine. It's showing you what to do. So, okay, my kind of signature bow. I like my bows for ladies' cards. So I've got my bow, which I'm going to put on with a bit of glue gel. There. There's my glue gel. And then, okay, just bear with me. I'm going to see if I can squidge this. That's not bad, not bad. Right, so we'll put, glue. We're going to put that one there. That one there. That one there. And we'll put the other two around here. So we've got this one here. And this one here, group together over. There we go. That's better. And then I'm not going to use those leaves because I managed to get glue all over them. We'll use some of these ones that I had done already. We're just going to put a little bit of glue gel on and tuck them in to add a little bit more on there. We'll go with one under here. There we go. We'll go with one up here and one poking out the middle. We'll go with that one. Right, so the last thing to do is we are going to do our friends little sentiment. This is why I leave the lid off and then it drips and then it stops. So put that to one side and we're going to find our friend sentiment. There's sentiment. That is the background. So we need to find our little bits of card that we've got left. That one for that. That I've got a little bit, cut a little bit of the cream for this for our friends. Okay. Bit extravagant, but I think as long as it's done, I am going to clean that glove up in a minute. I will have a proper reset before the next one because I'm going to be using different stuff, so I can have a proper go. Right, so we need our cutting plate, we need our dies, we need our plastic sheet magnet and our clear plate. We're on the final hurdle. We are nearly there. Right, we're going to grab my... Okay. So, we have a... Oh, come on. The background. We have the sentiment. Let's get that popped out. Let's get rid of all the tape holding it in. And then pop that out. There we go. And move that to the side. And we need to put this on to here. So, tweezers, we need glue. Ooh. I'm not even gonna think, is it going to or not? Yes, it is. Phew. Oh, nice big blob. Let's put that on that card. I don't want a massive blob. Okay, I am also going to blot that on that piece of card before I stick it onto here. And then put the lid on this. And then, ooh, might just have enough glue gel left in here. Take that away. Just. Right. There we go. Despite everything, it's not too dissimilar, is it? So, yeah. So that is 2 different ways to use that botanical frame die. So if you've got cut-in dies, or even if they're ones that cut out big dies like that, you can make them into stencils, and you can ink through them, you can put acrylic through them, or like me, you can put paste through them. But do keep hold of the stencil, and you'll be able to use it on other projects. Okay, so that's those 2. I am just going to have a little bit of a witter while I try and tidy myself up a bit, because I think the reason I am getting in a pickle is because everything is a mess. So we're going to have a tidy. Do you do that at home? I know I do. I keep going and I keep going and I get into a smaller and smaller space. I can't find anything. And then I get in a bit of a pickle and I can't find things and things don't work. So every now and again, oh look, guess what I found? See? My other tweezers. Just need to have a little bit of a reset before you get going again. Have we had any questions? No.
Nobody lately. I was about to say, anybody who's got any questions, feel free to ask Carole.
Please do. Please do. While I just try to make some kind of sense of all the things I've got on my table. What I still need and what I don't need. So I'm just going to just try and be a little bit tidier. Love to know if you are. I mean, I'm lucky at home. I've got a reasonable craft space, but I know a lot of people work on dining room tables, on, you know, in just small areas. What do you do to keep yourself organized? Because I can't keep myself organized in a massive space. I'd love to know your tips that might help me to stay a bit tidy and might help Dean to stay a bit saner while I'm faffing around and he's on the other side of the camera looking bewildered. Right, we don't need that. We don't need that. Don't need that. So I think we may be ready. So we're going to shift now onto something different. And we are going to have a look at this card. Now this card looks, look, this is why we're going to end up with, look, did you ever do that at school? I am a primary school teacher. And I tend, when we've been gluing, I tend to leave those little plastic spatulas to dry, and then I just peel it off. It's ever so satisfying. It really is. Anyone else? No? Just me? Okay. Just trying to rub a bit off so I'm not getting it all over my next project. Hopefully we won't have such a battle with the glue. Right, okay, so this one, there's not a huge amount of work. That's probably not exactly right. Let me get out what we're using. So I have used these All and Create stamps. This is called Hibiscus. And I have used 3 die sets from Elizabeth Craft. We're going to use the VersaFine Claire, like that, and all my little bits and pieces. I'm just going to put those over there. No, I'm not going to put them there. Then I know where they are. Right. Okay. So we are using this Hosta Leaves, which we've cut here in the ivory foundations. We are using the Garden Water Can, which I've cut in black card. And we are using the calendula, which I have just cut in white card. Both just the leaves, because you get the flowers, the stem and the leaves, just the leaves and the flowers. Okay, so these are the three die sets that we are going to be using. So it's quite straightforward, but I'd say the thing you've got to watch most is that we are stamping onto Centura Pearl, and I'm not the neatest of stampers as it is, and you do need to heat set it before we move on. So I have all my mats and layers cut. So I've got my base card, I have that white layer, I have that cream layer, the ivory layer, sorry, and this is the Centura Pearl that we're going to stamp onto. I'm just going to move that to there. Okay, then we are going to need to cut. I need that little piece of copy paper as well in a minute. We are going to need to cut from black. So we're going to do these now. Take this out. We're going to cut from black. We are going to cut the watering can. Now I'm just trying to keep inky things away at the moment so that I don't just put my hands in them. Okay, so watering can, and then the spout, that's in black. Okay, and I'm going to cut around that. Later, so that's one thing we're going to cut. Then we're not going to use the stem, but let's do the Hosta Leaves, because there's something else I need to do before we do the flower heads. So Hosta Leaves on the ivory foundations card. Okay, excellent. So that's that. Let's just cut that bit off. Now I want to cut. Let's move that as well, so I don't end up cutting that one. I don't need to. I'm going to cut all of these. So each flower, sorry, has 4 layers. Okay, but before I cut it out of the white stamping card, you probably noticed there's some black on there. So I used this little stamp from the set, this little one, on my little block, and I'm going to use that bit of paper here because I don't want it too dark. So I'm going to, and what I'm going to do, because I tend to do this when I'm doing like mixed media stuff, I tend to put my stamp on the end so that I can, rather than taking the ink to the stamp, I take the stamp to the ink, and then I'm just blotting it off. Literally, I'm then going to do this. Blot it off and then turn them around. It literally is to provide more interesting background than just the white card, and it matches in with the black. Now, I don't need very much because I'm only this time cutting one lot out because I've already got a few of the flowers made. But yeah, I am just going to keep until that goes. There we go. Right, so that's how I made this. So I did it a bit darker, but I don't want it quite so dark this time. And then I'm just going to choose where on there I put my flower dies to cut them out. We still need that for later. Put the lid back on the ink, move that out of the way. And we're going to take those down. And that one. And the little one. And again, I'm just going to cut that off because I don't need all of that white. So, okay, here's my base plate. Those dies, we've got our Hosta Leaves on our ivory card, and we have our watering can on our black card, and then we are going to run that through the Gemini. So once we've taken the bits out of that, we're then going to do this bit of stamping onto the ivory. Now I'm going to try and make sure my hands are clean-ish so I don't smudge it. Okay, right, so hostas have come out. Can you see the lovely lines that, you know, that's just one pass through and you automatically get those lines. Okie dokie. So there's our Hosta Leaves. Put that over there. Here is our watering can. I think it's called water can on the actual die. Garden water can, but we all call them watering cans, don't we? Oh, I must admit, I like a really good old-fashioned sort of galvanised one that's going a little bit rusty. Right, there we go. That's our water can, the garden water can. The spout, which I'm going to just shape, and I'm just going to shape that bit too. Okay, so we've got those. That in the bin. We're going to pop out the flowers now. There you go. It doesn't really matter what stamp you use. If it's fairly random, it just gives a little bit of something different to the flowers. Let's put these ones back on here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look, the little one's already dropped out, and there's another little one there. We're only going to need one of the little ones, but okay, so we've got one. There we go. Right, let's put that. Oh no, there's the other one. Ding, ding, ding. There we go. Okay, right. Move that over there. Now, this is the bit where we just need to be a little bit careful. We are going to use. Oh, if I can get it open. We're going to use this lovely stamp. This one here with the butterfly. It's a really lovely small collage stamp. Collage stamps are quite often quite big. this one is lovely and small. So let me find a block. That said, I've probably not got a small enough block. I've probably only got my big blocks. We'll go with this one. We'll go with it on the end here. Okay, so I am going to stamp it twice. We're going to stamp it once in its entirety down in this corner. Then we're going to stamp it again here. However, I don't want it so that it's going over the edge. If you can see, I managed to get a little gap. I did manage to smudge it as well, but a little gap there. And what I did is I literally ripped a piece of copy paper and I put it just inside the edge, just so that when we stamp over it, the edge is kind of blurred as opposed to straight. So we will start up there so that we're not trying to stamp this bit when we've got this bit already wet down here. So let's ink up this stamp. There's so much detail. You've got an alphabet. I think it's an alphabet, isn't there? Let's have a look. Yeah, the alphabet, you've got the word craft, you've got the little butterfly. Beautifully intricate little collage stamp. So we are going to aim. Now I want the sort of postmarky bits on, so I'm just going to aim kind of there. Right. I'm going to press too hard because I don't want to completely smudge it. Okay, and we'll. There you go. Okay, so I've missed a little bit because I'm very worried about squidging it, but that's okay because it's only for a background. So we're going to re-ink this just to make sure it's all covered, and then we're going to do it in the bottom corner down here. Probably have done it on my stamping platform, but feeling a bit renegade this afternoon. Okay, so let's make sure I put it in this time. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put that over there. I'm terrible at cleaning my stamps. I feel like that will season my stamp. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to get my heat gun and I am going to just give this a blast to heat set it, because this is a coated cardstock. Sorry, it's me talking over this with a frog in my throat. So let this dry. Okay, so this is a coated cardstock, the Centre of Pearl, and the coating on it stops the ink soaking straight into the fibres of the card, so it sits on there and only very slowly sinks in or evaporates off. So a little blast to heat set it is perfect. So we have all our bits now. Oh no, we don't. I haven't put this flower together. Let me get my flower forming mat, and this I'm going to do in a similar way to the way I did the coneflower just now, which is to turn it face down, pull down on each petal to give them a little bit of a curl in, then turn it over so you get that kind of shape that goes like that. I don't know, there must be a name for it, whether it's a botanical name or I don't know, mathematical name for this shape, but it just means it has a bit more sort of movement on your card. Right, so there we go. So, oh, glue. Is it Glue-mageddon again? Let's see whether my glue wants to play now or not. There we go. Let's try. Oh, yes. Decided it wants to play. So we're going to put this one on. And then we're going to put this one on. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of glue gel to raise up the little starry bit. Just a tiny little bit in there. And That's what I'm looking for. My little gem thing. So I'm going to put that on. And then I am just going to pop. Hopefully I've got enough in here. So a couple more flowers. There we go. A little black pearl on there just to give it a centre. I do like, when I make flowers, I do like putting gems and black pearls and, you know, just something in the middle. So you can see the one I've made today is a lot lighter than the ones that I did previously, but you know, it's okay. Whatever way, I don't think we're going to need any more leaves. So I'm going to put the leaves back. Oh, did I cut the leaves for this one? I didn't. I can't remember. Anyway, I have some leaves cut, so we've got them here. That's okay. We've got plenty of leaves here, and I'm not going to make lines on them because they are just little tiny ones. Excuse me. Oh, my throat is starting to sound a little bit husky. Let's put those in there. Put those there. Right. Okay. Let us now begin to assemble. Out. Okay. I don't know where my ribbon is, but we'll look for that in a moment once I've got everything else together. Probably on the floor somewhere near me. Right. Oh, dearie me. I feel like I've been like just dipping my fingers in. Poor old Dean. Every time I can't find it. I can't find it. I don't know. It's a black and white ribbon. It looks like that. It's somewhere. It was in there. It's probably now. No. Oh, yes. What's it doing in that box? Thank you. In the wrong box, that's why. What hope is there, really?
And the name of the shape is a canopy.
Oh, thank you. Who's that from?
I looked it up.
Oh, you looked it up. Ah, am I not keeping you busy enough that you got time to look it up on Google?
I was interested to know.
Yeah. Lots. Is that the botanical term or no?
It was a canopy or umbrellation.
Oh, now that one I have heard before because things like cow parsley and that are called umbellifers, but like umbrellas. Ooh, we're getting all a bit posh this afternoon, aren't we? Right, so we're going to try and put this on, and hopefully it is dry and not submerged. Okay, so there we go. I'm not going to press too hard on those bits. Brilliant. Okay, so now let us get some glue gel. Some glue gel in the middle of this. We're going to put it there. And then we're going to put the spout. Put the spout. Rhyme, isn't it? Incy wincy spider. Right, okay, I'm sorry, I digress. Right, let's get some leaves on. Put some leaves on. I might actually grab another one of those to our leaf. I do like hostas, but I don't know if any of you out there are gardeners, but I have a real slug problem and they love hostas, so I'm hoping that I will at some point be able to sort out a solution, but rather than slug pellets, but because hostas are beautiful. Oh, the flowers are not much, but the leaves are absolutely gorgeous. Right, okay, so we've got our leaves on and I'm going to put the flowers on next, and then once I've got the flowers on, I'm going to work out where to just poke in the little white leaves from the the calendula die. Okay. There we go. So I think actually I might put a little Hosta Leaf coming out there. I always do tend to cut a fair few of things like leaves, particularly because I kind of have an idea in my head what I'm going to do, and then when I start like this, putting it on, I go, oh, I might just stick that there, and I always end up needing more. So I tend now to cut more than I need, just so that I can have enough. And then they'll all just go in a pot. All my kind of extra flower bits go in a pot. And then if I'm doing a card and I need a quick flower, then I've usually got something that I can assemble, or is already assembled if I've done too many. What else should we do? Should we do one here, one here, one here, one there? I think one there, and we'll leave it there and we'll put the ribbon on. Yay! Oh, that one wasn't such a drama. Goodness me! Except the ribbon's about to fall apart. Pull it tight, quick. There, phew, phew. Rescued. Little ribbon there. You probably, if you've been watching a while and seen any videos, I'm a sucker for a big bow, lots of different ribbons. It's kind of, I don't know if you'd call it my signature, but it's certainly something that I do. And quite often when I try not to do it, I just look at the card and think, oh no, it's a bit bare. Right, so we just do 1, 2, 3. Rule of 3. Things in threes. Both in nature. Things tend to go in threes when you arrange flowers or you plant your stuff, or in odd numbers. And we tend to do it in craft as well. There we go. Goodness. So this one looks really effective, but actually isn't too involved. 3 different kinds of cards. I think more what really makes it effective is just the different cards. There's not a lot of technique in there. It's just layering of different colour cards, different sort of textures of cards that makes it look so effective. Excellent. So, goodness me. Oh, is that the time? Yeah, I've got another one. They'll be on my back wanting to go home. We've got one more. One more to do. Goodness me, have I been live that long? Yes, it feels that long. It really does feel that long. Right, okay. No, not really. I am very, very privileged to be able to do this. So I am not complaining. I am, however, going to have a drink. If you just excuse me for a moment, I just need to. My throat is getting a little bit dry. This is the card that we're going to be doing. This one here. It's another little one. Another small one, and this one has lots of distress oxides. That one we don't do that now. That one is for edging. Oh, I do need that. I take that back. I do need that. So let's put that there. Move everything else out of the way. Okie dokie. Let me get up to this. For this little beauty, we are making a little A6 card. So there is our card, just a little A4 cut in half and then scrawled in half again to make our A6. So what we need to do is we need to create our inky background. So we are going to do that. Let's move that out of the way. I feel like, oh, I tell you, when we go off it's going to be a massive clear up. Okay, we are going to be using this All and Create stamp set, and I will be using this one and this one and this one and this one. The basically the ones I've taken out here. Okay, to create the background, and then I am using the lily die. Where's that? Oh, yeah, I've moved it out of the way. the Elizabeth Crafts Daylilies. Now these are ones, and I have these in my garden as well, that they come out and they close up. So we're using the daylily dye to create this, but everything is going to be cut from this one piece of card that we are about to create. So I'm going to move those there, move that over there, move that there. So for the moment, I'm just going to concentrate on these 3 distress oxides. So I'm just going to grab my my blending brushes, and I need one. Yes, right. So I've got my 3 blending brushes for my distress oxide. So all I want to do is to cover this card, and I'm going to start with the fossilized amber. Okay, so I'm going to literally just start inking. I'm going to get some more ink on. I want this quite dense, if you like. I want it to be quite wet and movable for a while, because I want, once I add on some more colours, I want to be able to blend it. Now, I won't be able to get it the same as I did before. You never can. But I'm going to start with that rule of 3. I'm going to start with 3 bits of our yellow, and that's fossilized amber. So then I have this orange, it's quite bright orange. This is ripe persimmon. I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to overlap it a bit with the yellow. It's really, really bright. Here, and join that up. There's no rules to this, just do it how you feel. And then I'm going to just go back in. Now, you might worry that the brushes get contaminated. It's bizarre, but they don't. It looks like I've got a bit of orange, but if I went in there now, it wouldn't contaminate my ink pad. So so you can see that I'm getting a smoother edge, because the ink is doesn't sink straight down. That's the difference between oxides and distress inks. These sort of sit for longer. Now this red crackling campfire is not far off of the orange, and I chose it because I didn't want a complete contrast. I just wanted something that was going to take the colour down a bit more, but not sort of add a different kind of tone. It's still on the same kind of level, but you can see it's just a bit darker. This is did I go in the right one then? Doesn't look like it. This is one of the newer colours that has come out. I don't know whether this was this year or last year. Kind of lose track. So we're going to go in with a bit more yellow and get that blended in. And when I've done this, I am going to give it a little bit of a heat set, because as you can see, I'm getting it on my fingers, because the colour just sits for a while, which is great for this technique, but once we start doing things with it, we want it a little bit more set. Okay, so almost there. This one looks like it's going to be a bit more yellow than the one I did before, but that's okay. So I can put my blending brushes to one side, but I'm not putting my inks away. I am just going to give that a little bit of a blast, just to dry it off a bit. Okay, so what I am going to do now is I am going to cut down a piece to fit on my card. So I'm going to look, and I think I might just, so I'll put these away, I might just fill that little bit in there, because that's going to annoy me otherwise, and I kind of like that corner. I think we'll go with that corner there. So I'm just going to turn it over and cut it. Pencil. I'm just going to cut this bit. And this bit is going to form the background here. So grab machine. Where did I put my line? Oh, for goodness sake. On the back, that's why, you donut. Oh, yeah. Put the mark on the back and try looking on the front. You're not going to find it, are you? No. Right. So, that. We need that, so we're not throwing that bit away. This is... Right, so this bit... Oh, I've got a bit of a raggedy edge there. I'm going to ink the edge anyway, so... Right, so what I'm not too worried about the ink for the moment because we've got more inking to do. So now I want to use this stamp. The I think it is the hip. What am I using? Oh, this is the So this is the At One with Nature set. So this is the Lily Flower, and I'm using that 100% natural, the Essence of Nature stamp as well. So I'm just going to grab a couple of plates. Now my plates are all over the place, and quite honestly, I think I am missing some. So I am just going to grab some random plates. The reason I'm not too worried is because these are just going to be creating my backgrounds. So what I am going to do is I want to create a lovely background on here. And when you are building up a background with ink, you want to start with the lighter colours. Now, sometimes if you're using like distress ink, that doesn't always work because they are very translucent and don't always stamp over. But if you look at that, you can see the yellow on there, and any excess I'm just going to stamp off on there. Actually, I want a bit more. Let's put a little bit more on. So I'm going to use the same two stamps, and I'm going to use it with 3 different colour inks. Okay, right, so done that one. I'm going to put some ripe persimmon on there now. See, that one's going to stand out more. You always work from... It doesn't matter if it's not all stamping. It's about creating textures. And that's why I also have put it on the end of a stamp, because I am just going to put a little bit more on over here. This is what we're going to cut our flowers from. So this is really just random. And we're going to do, don't put the lid on that. We need some crackling campfire as well on this. So we're going to do a little bit. Oh, turn it over the right way. Goodness me. A little bit there. A little bit there. A little bit there. A little bit there. And then just going to get rid of the rest of it over here. Okay. Right, so that is that stamp on there. Now I am going to use this 100% Essence of Nature, just natural, the Essence of Nature. And again, it's just going to be a little bit, and get rid of it. A bit more on this bit. Like I said, this bit, it doesn't matter because we're cutting it up, but it just gives it a little bit of texture, makes it a little bit more interesting. So again, with the ripe persimmon, oh, upside down, not to worry. There we go. And then just probably a little bit with this, not too much. Put it out the right way this time. Just literally the end, and I'm just going to put the rest of it on there. Okay, right, so that's the main background done. I am then going to stamp. First of all, I am going to or decide where I'm going to cut these lilies out of. Where did I put the dies? Where did I put the dies? Oh, under there. Right, so I'm going to use a stem. So I'm going to go for a yellow one because that will stand out quite nicely against that. And then I'm going to use 2 of these on here. What am I doing? Ah, the joys, the joys. Okay, now I'm just going to check in my box as to what I've already got cut, so I don't need to worry too much. What have we got? Oh, okay, we do need a stamen, so I need a bit of black card as well. So I'm going to put these on there, and I'm going to tape them down. Is there anybody out there watching us still?
Yeah, several people watching.
Good, that's good.
Any questions you have, don't forget to ask Carole.
Please do, because I know I've been a little bit all over the place today. Right, so that's what I need to cut from there. I need a little bit of black card to cut the stamen. Just going to grab that one, and we're going to cut a little bit of black card with that. To cut that, this needs to go to the side. Bit of tape, and I am very aware of the amount of ink that is all over my mat, so I'm just going to keep persevering with it for the moment. In a minute I probably will just give it a bit of a spritz and a wipe. So we are going to put this through and this through. Okay, while that's going through, I am just going to quickly spritz that. Grab okay, right. So, here we go. So there's our stem. Away. Our stem, we've got 1 flower, we've got 2, and we've got another, we've got a couple of leaves, a little bit of texture on. Okie dokie. Put those over there. And then we've got our stamen. Now, on the one on here, I have edged everything in black, and I've decided this time I'm not going to. I'm just going to trim this off. I'll do that where it got a bit jagged. I'm not going to, because I see how it looks. 2 different sort of versions. So that's our flower, and we need now to do a little bit of flower forming on that. So turn them over and just give them a little bit of a this. Okay, and then push them down in the middle. Now, I want the flower to sit up like that. Now, that one is edged in black, so I might have to edge the flower, but we'll see. So, this is how I did it. I glued Go on. You know you want to. No. Let's just go with a bit of glue gel because it's easier. Tiny bit of glue gel. There. Okay. Now, I'm going to roll this, and then I'm going to put more glue gel here. Now, at the moment, that flower is not going to dry like that. So I came up with a solution. Bottom of an egg box. if you push it, oh, and that's because I haven't got the acrylic glue. There you go. And you leave it to dry like that, you will get this shape. Okay, if you leave it to dry flat, it isn't going to happen. So I'm just going to leave that just while we are finishing the other bit. So I need to stamp the oh dear, what a messy crafter. What did I do with the stamp plate? Oh no, I've got them here. It's right, I put them all together because I wanted them all together. So this one I'm going to stamp onto here, and I'm going to use my VersaFine to stamp onto there, onto this bit. And we're going to do it down in this corner. There we go. So that's stamped there. We are going to then stick, well, you've got to work now, glue. You've got to work for me. We're almost done. Almost done. One final push. Yes, well done. As if the glue was actually listening to me, but makes me feel better. There we go. So we're going to stick down. Okay. And then I'm going to put the stem. Like I said, I'm not going to edge this one. I know one of the flowers is edged, but so we've got our stem. We've got a couple of leaves. Yeah. And yeah. Okay. And now what we're going to do is the other one, it's not going to be completely dry, but it will at least have some of the shape. We are going to use glue gel, a big kind of ball of glue gel, to put those two in back to back. Okay, like that. Now this one isn't dry, but you get the idea. That's there, and then we finish with a little ribbon there, and then I'll show you how I did the At One with Nature. So let's put the ribbon there as though it's tied around the lilies. Okay, so the At One with Nature. We need our bit of card back, this one, and we'll go with this plate. It will do. Doesn't matter which order I put them on there because I'm going to cut them out anyway. And we are going to do our VersaFine. Right, okay. As I said, it doesn't matter that I've got them in the wrong order because I am going to do them. Now it's going to go down there. So do I want a darker or yeah, we'll go in the orange again. We'll go across that way. And I'll cut them out in a minute. Okay, so there's our At One with Nature. And I am literally going to get a pair of scissors. And I am going to just cut them out by eye. Doesn't matter if they're wonky. I'm not bothered by that at all. There we go, that's At One. Ooh, where did with go? Oh, with and Nature. That, because I haven't edged the other bit, I won't edge this either. So because it looked a bit, I found it looked a bit strange with having That One with Nature and Lily, I put them over the word Lily. So Nature is going there. With goes above it. Ooh, up the right way would help. With there's one. And there's the final one. At One with Nature. Okay, so slightly different to this one because I didn't edge everything. Gives it a different look, and also the background's always going to be different. But ooh, and I just squashed that down. Oh, perfect end to a perfect Facebook Live. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Thank you for staying with us. My apologies for all my little bloops through the last few hours, but I really appreciate you sticking with it. Hopefully, I won't be here next week, but I will be here back in 2 weeks' time. Enjoy your weekend.
Tell you that I love you 100 times a day. You'll get tired of my voice. That's how much I'm gonna tell you that I'll miss you. I'll miss you if you go. Yes, I'm gonna let you know just how much I tell your mama. I tell your papa too. I'm gonna let everyone know about my love. So tell you that I need you every day. You'll get weary of my touch. That's how much I'm gonna tell you that I want you. I wanna let you know, oh, you're the only one for me. No one else. I'm gonna shout it out, yeah, up on the mountaintop. I'm gonna let everyone know about my love. So I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too. Oh, there's something deep inside, yeah, that really makes me wanna speak my mind, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna show you that I love you 100 times a day, yeah. You'll get tired of my lips, and that's how much they wanna kiss you and caress you and love you till my dying day. You're the only one I need, no one else. I tell your friends, I tell your family, I'm gonna let everyone know about my love. So I really hope you love me too. Yeah, 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 yeah, I really hope you love me too. Yeah, yeah, I really hope you love me too. Yeah, yeah, I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too.
You got me acting out. You, all tenderness is out the window. What you do to me when the cold bites blue is straight cool. Oh, it has to be you leaving writings on the wall. Promise me roses and a hungry haze, but now there's only madness. Got me feeling dusty. Got me feeling dusty. I can't even whisper and it's hard to see. Don't take my hand and wake me. And tell me it's a dream. A dream. The worst kind you've ever dreamed. Don't wanna lay another night here. Don't wanna walk another mile. I just can't. Please don't make me do it. I got too much to lose. I've got too much to lose. Too much to lose. Now lay me in the wilderness to dry up bits of your sweet grass. I can't wait no more. Willow trees have died and the last horn lark will fly. Got me feeling dusty. Got me feeling dusty.